Hello, Pittsburgh Steelers fans. It is time today to make a hypocycloid with Microsoft Paint. What a hypocycloid is, if you see the logo, it is part of the Steeler or Pittsburgh Steelers football team logo. Definition of a hypocycloid is a curve generated by the motion of a point on a circumference of a circle that rolls internally without slipping on a given circle. What that really means is if you have four circles that are touching each other, it's the inside of that configuration. And we'll see that here briefly. It's a geometric shape. Most people don't know the Steeler logo is called a hypocycloid. They usually just call them Steeler diamonds or something to that nature. A little bit of history about the Steelers and the hypocycloid is the logo is made up of three diamond-shaped figures called hypocycloids. The three colors are yellow, red, and blue, and they represent coal, iron ore, and scrap steel. And an interesting fact that Cleveland Brown fans love to hear is that in 1962, the Republic Steel out of Cleveland suggested that the Steelers use the hypocycloid as their logo on their helmets. And if you've ever noticed, the logo of the Steelers is only on the right side of the helmet, which makes them unique in one of many ways, including the fact that they're the only team that has 6 Super Bowl championships. Okay, to make a hypocycloid simply, you can use Microsoft Paint. And depending on the version of Windows you have, whether you have Windows XP or Vista or an older version, Paint is included. However, it may look a little different depending on the version, but the tools we have or need for this project are all included. First thing we want to do is make a circle. We want to make a perfect circle. Not too big, not too little. And the way you make a perfect circle in Microsoft Paint is when you use the circle tool, you hold down the shift key on your keyboard, and when you make the circle, it will make it a completely round object. If you don't hold down shift, it may be oblong and look more like an oval. So make sure you hold down shift when you make your circle. What we're going to do is take that circle and we're going to make multiple versions of it, or we're going to copy it. Now to copy it, you use your select tool and put a selection option around it, and then you go to edit and copy, or any other way you know how to copy and paste. There are 2 or 3 different ways to do it. So we want to copy that original circle, and then we want to paste the circle so that it is beside the original one, and we want to make it so that they touch each other just perfectly, as this picture shows. So we want to have the 2 circles touching in this nature. Next, we want to copy those 2 circles so that when they're pasted, we have 4 circles that touch together, and you may start to see the shape of the hypocycloid starting to become present. It's the inside of the 4 circles if you don't quite see it yet. Before we do the filling in and colorization, we want to make sure that the 4 circles are indeed touching. And to do this, I use the zoom tool to zoom in and make sure that there are no gaps between the 4 circles. If a gap does occur, easy way to fix it, as I actually had to do with this drawing, is use the pencil tool and just put a dot and fill in between the 2 areas. To fill in your color, you want to use the paint bucket tool. And then at the bottom of the screen, or wherever the colors are, pick either red or yellow or blue. It doesn't really matter because we're going to adjust these later on. But if you fill it in and an accident occurs and your whole screen gets filled with that color, it means that somewhere there's a gap, and just go back a step or go to edit and undo and maybe check your zoom option again. The next thing we want to do is use the eraser tool and erase any lines that are not needed, which really are the other parts of the circle that don't make up the hypocycloid. So take your eraser tool and remove the outer edges of the circle. And this is what a finished hypocycloid looks like. I zoomed in just to show you the close details. But you shouldn't have any lines that go beyond the actual shape of the geometric figure. After we get one hypocycloid correct, easiest thing to do is to copy it and make multiple versions by using the edit and copy and paste option like we did with the circles. And you want to have 3 of them because there's 3 if you remember the logo. Again, color right now doesn't matter, so let's copy the three. Copy it so we have 3 hypocycloids. Move them and configure them so that they are in this pattern, one on top of the other and then one to the right. And then use your paint bucket to make the top one yellow, the right one red, and the bottom one blue. And you can start to see the Steeler logo coming into shape here. Next thing I want to do is use a text tool to add some lettering to the logo. So the text tool is the letter A on your toolbar. And when you click on that, it brings up an area where you can type and also change your font size and style and make more bold or italics or things of that nature. I type the word Steelers by using Arial font and a size of 48. Depending on your circles and your hypocycloids, you may need to have a different size, maybe bigger, maybe smaller. But for my drawing, 48 worked well. Next thing I do to kind of make this a little more fancy is I took the line tool and I used a thicker line. By at the bottom I made a thick line and I chose white for my color. And I put lines down through the middle of the S's and the E's to give it a stencil effect. And then lastly I moved the word Steelers over so that it kind of fits in better with the 3 hypocycloids, and there you have yourself a Steeler logo. So by using Microsoft Paint and a few techniques of copy, paste, and some of the drawing features, you can make yourself a Steeler logo. So good luck to the person trying this, and good luck to the Steelers in the upcoming season. Let's go for Super Bowl number 7.